The Story of Civilization, Volume 2, The Medieval World. Written by Phillip Campbell. Narrated by Kevin Gallagher. Produced by Tan Books. Introduction. The journey continues. Have you ever read a story that was divided up into several different volumes? Perhaps you have journeyed through Middle-earth with J.R.R. Tolkien in his epic trilogy, The Lord of the Rings. Or visited Narnia with C.S. Lewis in his 7-volume series, The Chronicles of Narnia. Or maybe you've seen the movies from the Star Wars franchise. These are all examples of one long story broken up into smaller parts. The story of history, the story of our civilization, works much the same way. Although it is a long story with lots of different people, scenes, places, and events, it is still just one long narrative. But because it is so long, it helps to break the story up into smaller sections, or volumes. What you have here is the second volume in the story of civilization. Through this book, your journey through the past continues. We last left off with the Roman Emperor Constantine and his battle against the forces of Maxentius on the banks of the Tiber River in the year 312 AD. Here, Constantine, who at the time was a pagan ruler, had a dream the night before battle where he saw the Chi-Rho symbol, a symbol for the Christian God. Below this, he saw the words, "In this sign, conquer." Constantine had all his soldiers paint the Chi-Rho on their shields and marched them into battle. His forces won, prompting him to convert to Christianity. This was one of the most important moments in the history of mankind, because from there, Constantine would go on to pass the Edict of Milan in 313, which made Christianity legal. Before Constantine, we went back a long way, all the way to the earliest nomads and through the ancient kingdoms of Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, Persia, and Greece. We also told the story of the Israelites, whom so much of the Old Testament is focused on, and the story of Jesus coming as our Savior. We covered the 3 centuries after the crucifixion and resurrection of Christ, which took us into the spread of the early church under the rule of the Roman Empire. It was a tumultuous period for the first Christians, with much persecution and even martyrdom in some cases, but that all changed when Constantine had his dream. In this volume, in the years following Constantine's victory and his passing of the Edict of Milan, Christianity began to spread. Without mass and organized persecutions by the Romans, Christians were able to practice their religion without fear of death or imprisonment. A culture or civilization based on the life and teachings of Jesus Christ began to form. This civilization became known as Christendom. We will see how Christendom began to spread all across Europe and how this brought about a better way of life for millions of people. We will encounter many great historical figures in the church, men like Benedict, Patrick, and Ambrose, and women like Joan of Arc and Catherine of Siena. We will be introduced to great kings and fight alongside their knights as they rush into battle. We will study the architecture of the medieval world, specifically the Gothic and Romanesque styles that the massive cathedrals of Europe were built in during this time. And we will learn about the struggles civilization faced, including the spread of the Black Death, and the 100 Years' War, and the Wars of the Roses. Along the way, you're sure to learn all sorts of new and exciting things. For example, did you know that monks were the first to make use of clocks? Did you know that St. Patrick was once kidnapped by pirates and...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?